Hi everybody, it's the Soap Man. This is my second attempt at making a soap video. My first one was Saturday, and I've done this for a long time. I'm very experienced. I deviated from my tried and true recipe, turned out with a really nice bar of soap, but 3 days in it's still extremely soft. My tried and true recipe, actually, it's really simple. Try it yourself. It's 50% olive oil, 50% coconut oil, and it usually adds an extra super fat by using grapeseed oil to dissolve the colors. But I tried a different one. I actually made a nice bar of soap, haven't cut it. It's firm enough to touch and everything, but it's very, very soft. You can see where I tried to cut the thin slice off and the calendula leaves just drug instead of cut. So I'm going to let that sit for a week, maybe even 2 weeks before I attempt to cut it. We'll try another. We're going to do a drop swirl today. I haven't done this in a long time, but a drop swirl is pretty easy, pretty forgiving. I'm going to be using, I already have my colors mixed up, a tablespoon of grapeseed oil in each. I'm going to use white, I'm going to use chocolate, brown, which actually Hershey's cocoa to get the brown. I'm going to use orange and a yellow. So my lye water has cooled to an appropriate temperature. It's very cloudy because I have Tussa silk fibers dissolved in it. So give me just a minute and we'll make some noise here and get this mixed up and we'll get started. Going to achieve a relatively thin trace just to get the oils incorporated, and then I'll get a little bit thicker trace once I've gotten the colors in. Alright, it's just barely emulsified. I don't see any oils floating on top. I'm going to stick Bill in a little bit more anyway if there is by chance, but it's a pretty good emulsification. I'm going to want about 9 ounces in each cup, so we're going to measure this out. It doesn't have to be exact, just something close. And see, that was a little bit more, but that's alright. I'm not worried about it. Oops, that was too much. Now that will make a difference. Still didn't come out. Even trying to measure and be precise, still didn't come out. Oh well. This one actually has a little bit more. I'm going to want a little more white, so I'm going to switch. The one that has a little bit more weight, I'm going to use it for the white. Okay, now I'm ready to mix the colors. I already have them pre-dissolved in oil. I think I'd already mentioned that. So just give them a quick stir. Pour that in. The yellow is yellow oxide. I usually use Brambleberry's fizzy lemonade, and I really like it, but I kind of want this. The yellow oxide has a little bit bolder yellow, darker, bolder yellow, and I really wanted that this time. So let's see what we come up with. Take a whisk. Usually if I go lightest to darkest, I don't have to wash in between. It makes a little difference. I'm happy with that. Alright, I'm going to make a little bit of noise again and stick blend these because I want just a medium trace. Lightest to darkest usually doesn't matter if I don't clean it in between. I'm starting to set up. I'm going to have to move pretty quickly now. I've got my mold here ready. Generally with a drop swirl, you're going to want to pour all, or at least most of your white in the bottom. I might leave a little bit for the top, but I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. Now I'm going to hold this up high, and I'm going to pour part of the brown, make sure it pierces the bottom. Oh shoot, and over the side, of course. That wasn't supposed to happen. Going too fast. I'll clean this up later, that's alright. But I do want to get most of that off the side of the mold. Then I'm going to do my orange. Holding it up high, be more careful this time. And my yellow. And just keep doing this, holding it up high, making sure it breaks all the way through. I'm going to tap this to make sure I've gotten air bubbles out, as many as possible. Now I have never in my life done a hanger swirl. This is going to be a first time too. This might be a disaster all the way around, but we'll see. This is just a plain coat hanger I bent to fit this mold. So I'm going to stick it all the way to the bottom, pull it up. And that's it, just really that simple. Now what I'll do is just go ahead and take the rest of this soap that I have and just kind of drizzle it on top. Not being fancy. Brown than I meant to. Actually, what I'll probably do is just pour this into a mold. Then I take a skewer. Now, believe it or not, laugh if you will, I use my thermometer as my skewer. And just do this little swirl. I know most of you have probably seen it. Just at an angle like this, just on the top. Of course, I don't want to pierce the bottom layers. I just want to do this on the top. And then do it again the opposite direction. Makes a very nice top on the soap. Yep, I'm really happy with this so far. This is just a silicone muffin pan, and sometimes I actually make soap in this, but sometimes when I have stuff left over like this and I don't want it to go to waste, I'll just pour it into this. And that way this soap is not going to waste. I'll just mix all these colors together, and if it doesn't look nice, I'll use it myself. It'll still be good soap. I'll just use it myself. That keeps it from going to waste. Now, once this is started to set up, I'm going to give it a spritz of 91% isopropyl rubbing alcohol to prevent soda ash. I generally let that sit up a little bit more before I try to put this on. So I'm going to move this out of the way so I can get that one wrapped. And yes, I do insulate, absolutely. Bring the colors out in this. Move you over here where you can see a little bit better. Boy, I have made a heck of a mess over here, but that's alright. I'll clean that up later. Alright, that's getting semi-firm. I'm going to go ahead and spray this now. Give it a good spritz with rubbing alcohol. I'm going to cover it and come back in about 10 minutes once it's gotten a nice firm to the touch, and give it another spritz. Basically that's it. I will cut it tomorrow and I'll film that too. What do I do about the mess? I don't know, a lot of you may wonder about this. Maybe you have your own things. These are, of course this is greasy. This has active lye in it. It can still give you a very bad burn. It's a heck of a mess. You know what I do? Put it aside and let it sit overnight with my soap. Let it turn to soap, and then I soak all of these in the main pot with hot tap water, and I have a concentrated enough dose of soap that I can pour the whole thing in the top loading washer and do a load of clothes with it. So this soap will not go to waste. All of these containers will turn to soap overnight. They'll dissolve in hot water, and I'll either wash clothes with it, wash the car. Sometimes I even wash dishes with my own soap. So none of my soap goes to waste. Anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.